Jeremy is here.
Hey, Jeremy.
Sure. Hey, man. Hey, Ruben.
Yeah, we're a little early. Just a little early.
That's okay.
It's right on time. Oh, we were early, yeah.
We were a little early. Don't worry, you're not late. You're just
professionals.
Yeah. Dude, Jeremy and Woody, thank you guys for being on the pod. I feel like a new man. I will admit this to you guys. I went on a quick little vacation this week, and I used the bidet for the very first time. And I will be honest to you guys, I am a new man.
You look a lot fresher than in the other episodes.
Yeah. I am. I don't know if I can go back. I can't go back. I need to buy a tushy or something.
I've never indulged personally.
It's something. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I wasn't sure. I went to the Madonna Inn, which is in San Luis Obispo, and I was like, "Well, let's give this thing a whirl." They got one. It looks high quality, and of
course they have bidets in every restroom.
Yes, and it was heavenly. Yeah. But let's get into how are you guys doing? How are we today?
What, are you good?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Typical day. The sun's shining, which is nice. I'm in Chicago, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm friends with Paul Cherry, and I saw you were on his story. I'm like, we'll get to that, but yeah, sorry, Jeremy, how are you doing?
Also good, nothing to report. Another day in the pandemic.
Where are you at in the United States or not?
I'm in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, hell yeah. Well, what? Yeah. Okay. So Woody, I did see you. What are you doing with Paul Cherry? What was going on this past weekend?
Oh, we made a song together.
Really?
I gave him a demo. Probably one that Jeremy rejected. Whenever I do songs with other people, it's like songs Jeremy didn't want to do, or he didn't. Don't tell Paul Cherry that. But no, but I really love the song, and I think you'll like it too. And actually, Jeremy, I was thinking about you because he's like working in this studio in Chicago, and it was one of the nicest recording experiences I've had. It's like really relaxed, and it was a different thing than what we've done before, and I want to work together.
What was the demo called? Do you remember what the demo was named?
Big Relief. It's kind of like a creep. Do you actually remember these?
I feel like I do remember it. Yeah. It's
like this creepy, weird chord, like mystery novel.
Cool.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know what that means. Okay. Yeah, you'll dig the tune though.
That's awesome. Wait, so what makes this studio so different and special than what you guys are usually used to? What is it that you like about it?
Well, Jeremy wasn't there, but it was one, I wasn't paying for it, right, which will be different probably if we worked there. He was just doing it as I'd play keys on his stuff sometimes, I guess now, or I did. And so we weren't worried about time, and it was like, there's no way to say this without sounding a little mean, but it's like shittier than the studio that we worked at. Mm-hmm. Like you can hear like bands practicing, and the electric keyboard company is right next door. And like the radio is playing through one of the channels the whole time. And it's just like a very different feeling. I don't know. You can imagine that, right, Jeremy?
Yeah. I mean, Woody and I have recorded in like living rooms and, in our houses. That's and then for the last two records, we paid money to be in a studio, which has its own, bonuses and negatives, but there is something about like going to your friend's living room and making his roommate have a horrible day because you're recording a band all day that adds a little something to a recording process. Maybe, I don't know.
Was there like something you guys wanted to achieve that you couldn't achieve inside the living room? That's why you went into a studio, or what was the idea going into a studio?
Well, so Woody and I have been recording together for a long time, making music together for a long time. And it was usually for like my projects, like my stuff. And then how I remember it, also Woody and I don't really talk about this stuff. Like we don't really even talk
at all.
Yeah.
We don't talk about
just
like
show
what
up to record. Yeah.
What the music means to us. So I feel like we could have a lot of disagreements about potential things, but So essentially we recorded one record and I mixed it, and essentially Woody hated how I mixed it, and he was like,
that's not okay. Keep going. Whatever. Keep going.
Speak your
counterpoint.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, let's keep making music together, but the next record, I got to be involved with the mixing because you did such.
That's all I said. I didn't say that first part.
So that's like how Woody and Jeremy started, and that's how probably we got involved in the studio thing, to just try to make something that, you know, sounded very good, whatever that means. But now that we've done it, maybe there's other places to go. But you've worked with Paul Cherry, or you know him, or?
Yeah, I did. You know, I heard Paul Cherry while I was at South by Southwest, and this is like 2018. And I was like, damn, I love this record. It sounds so good. And then I was like, I got to be friends with this guy. So I booked him a show in Santa Barbara because, you know, no one ever stops in Santa Barbara. But we were able to get him a show. And then maybe a few months later, I was like, yo, man, I have these group of songs. Would you be down to produce it? We flew him out. And same vibe in a practice space at this place called Bedrock in LA, and you can hear other bands fucking playing like covers and shit like right next door to us, and the bass is just like, oh no, I hope this doesn't interfere with our recordings. But yeah, it worked out great.
So did you record in a practice room, or did they have a studio at Bedrock?
It was in the practice room that they converted into a studio.
Wow, because I've practiced at Bedrock, and there's a lot of
noise.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it's one of my favorite recordings I've made in recent times. Like the sounds are delicious. You know, I don't want to give the impression that it was like, it just puts you in a different mindset.
Cool.
You know, when you're not in a place where where you feel like everything costs a lot of money and it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It was more relaxed.
You felt more relaxed. Did you feel like that ultimately led to a better recording, or just the environment?
Just the way you approach composing. You're not listening like, you know, like, finally, you're just like, what's the best idea? You know, let's get the best ideas out when we're composing a song. You know, you don't listen minutely and change little things. That's the deal.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I thought it was good. It was just more of like, you know, whatever, just try and drown out the other bands around us and just get to the recording process and do what feels right. But then ultimately after he left, we were like, I think we could do some overdubs. Hold on. So we just worked on it after he left. So I don't know. In that way, I get nervous because I feel like it's never done, but eventually it has to be done. Like, how do you guys deal with that? Because, you know, with this digital age, you guys can just keep going and going and going. When is the song over for you?
Yeah, I mean, when we started releasing the album, very quickly after everything was done, you know, when the masters were done. So we were like working up on it till like right when we put it out, but that might be more our fault than anything. But yeah, we recorded all this stuff in kind of like so this new album, Gravy in My Coffee, recorded it like in a week, I think, just with a band. And then that was actually before the pandemic started. It was like, I think it might have even been, so I think it might have been midway through 2019. And then, when the pandemic started, we started like mixing it, you know, distanced. And that might have slowed things down too, because it's like kind of difficult. But we worked on it for a long time after we recorded it, felt like.
Yeah. Thoughts, Woody?
I don't honestly remember mixing it. Like we did it. Didn't we get together or did we not?
I think we got together once for like a day.
Yeah. I'm kind of entering a zone where like the mixing is where you can go crazy. And as much attention as you can, as much as you can get the sounds the way you want them when you're recording, the better. And just to be like, and also I'm trying to have more humility in being like, when you record more, it's like you have these things where you listen back to them after a year and you're like, I spent like 3 weeks trying to figure out that sound and you just don't care anymore. You know, it doesn't matter. Like it's hard to learn what those things are, you know, what to prioritize.
See, I started there. I started with nothing. It doesn't matter what anything sounds like.
That's awesome. So you guys, so this is before the pandemic. You had some friends fill in on like drums, or what parts did everyone play?
What do you mean?
Like getting a band together. You said you got a band together. Like,
Yeah.
did you guys play each individual part by yourselves, or did you get like separate players for everything else? And how did you find those players? I guess I should say.
They're all in Chicago. We did this all in Chicago, right? And it's just people I knew through this studio Rax Tracks in Chicago, and you know, drummer, bass, guitar, keyboardist. Right. I think most of these songs, it's like it started as a demo where I wrote all the musical parts, and then Jeremy made a vocal and melody over it. We have a couple where it's not like that.
I think so. So there's like some where Woody writes music and then I essentially like chop it up and sing on it. There's some where I wrote lyrics and a vocal melody and Woody writes to that, which is kind of a process. Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
And then there's some stuff that I wrote completely, and then Woody added instrumentation. So there's a couple different ways we did it, but once we go to the studio, I'm just singing. I'm not allowed to touch an instrument.
Okay.
That's not true.
No, Woody plays the flute on this record, so get prepared. Get ready for that.
Get ready for the flute. Yeah,
I'm a fifer.
Nice. Is that something you've had in your back pocket for a while, Woody? The flute, or is this a new thing you're doing?
No. It was I heard this Jimi Hendrix song. I think it's If a 6 Was a 9. You know that one?
Yeah.
I think there's like a wild flute at the end of there, and I was like, that's where I heard that happening. We have a very psychedelic streak in this album.
Yeah, I listened to the record today when I got that email, and
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's like it really the styles and the genres go all over the place. Is that a bit of like freedom? Aside from working with your other projects that you like, we could do anything. Woody and Jeremy is anything and everything.
Yeah, I don't really have any specific genre that. I mean, you know, there's for me, it's like indie rock is kind of where I feel most comfortable, but you know, that spreads out into a lot of spaces. And with Woody, you know, he's got this whole classical funk training, you know, like tutelage in Wolfpack. So he brings a lot of funk to the thing, but
jazz.
I feel like, you know, yeah, I feel like I'm not good at making consistent music. Like that's not like some bands are so good at making almost the same song over and over again. Right. And there are certain motifs that I think show up, like certain structures in the songs I write. But other than that, it's mainly just like a pop version of rock, of folk, of funk, whatever, you know, just like whatever comes out. It's not too big of a deal.
Jeremy won't like this, but I like to liken it to the band Ween.
Yeah, totally.
You know how Ween, like
I caught that vibe. Yeah, they weren't.
You know, they very intentionally did like a country album. We're not going to do that. Maybe we will, but it wasn't. It was like it all fits together with their band and their choices and their values.
So what? Yeah,
and
we just like a lot of different music, so that's just what we want to do.
And you know, like growing up, I feel like my first experience with like good music that set me on the course for like what good taste was like my uncle used to make mixtapes for my dad, and we'd listen to them on like tape cassette when we drive to school. And it's just, you know, an assortment of he would put classical music, he would put funk tunes in there. That's probably actually the first time I heard you know, Atomic Dog by George Clinton.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, in my mind, you know, you experience things in the world like that, like all genres sitting next to each other. And that's how I prefer kind of to consume music. Though sometimes it's nice to be in one zone for a while. So when you make stuff, why not give yourself that liberty as well?
It's horrible branding. Horrible.
Well, what did you think? Were you like annoyed, or were you kind of like, oh, this this makes sense to me.
No, it was a happy surprise. I was listening to it and I was like, okay, I think I get what this band's about. Like you said, Ween or Devo, Talking Heads kind of vibe. But then midway through, there's like a slow kind of rock song. I was like, okay. It was a happy surprise. It's nice to know that like this record, no one's heard it yet, obviously when this comes out, but like that there's more than just what you think it's going to be. It's a happy surprise. Yeah.
And it was kind of like, how do you express that in like singles, you know, because there's the whole singles
right.
where it's like, so the singles we kind of chose are kind of more in a funky kind of indie rock space, but
yeah,
the album kind of expands out of that, and it'll be interesting to see if people gravitate to those singles, or if they say they pick one song off the album and go, oh, this is the one we like, or something like that.
Yeah. Did you feel that there was any like sort of pressure, maybe what you could talk about this, like, or picking these singles that they kind of have to be kind of funky because people might be expecting that from Woody or like from this project?
Oh, it goes into our thought process for sure.
Yeah.
But you don't always, you know, Jeremy and I don't always want to do what's expected of us. We get a sick, twisted pleasure out of imagining Wolfpack fans listening to a depressing,
right,
slow, just like, oh no, what happened? Sorry. No, you know, it goes into, we're considerate of our audience right now, but we also probably want to find an audience that is more aligned with what we do.
Totally.
But at the same time, you know, I feel like they've been, you know, like my music essentially had like zero listenership before like this configuration of making music. And it's kind of amazing. And I was worried about it because it's like, you know, Wolfpack works with some of the greatest, you know, vocalists that are out there in terms of like timbre and technical skill. But I've been kind of blown away by how accepting that fan base is that's tuned into what Woody is doing specifically. Because I think there's other people who are just more about the band in general. But I haven't really seen any negative feedback, you know, in
and
so that's cool.
With your vocals, Jeremy, who did you look up to? Because your vocals, I can't pinpoint like the reference for you, but like who did you look up to vocally?
Oh man. I mean, I feel like this is kind of lame, but the person who comes to mind immediately is like
Robert
Captain
Plant.
Beefheart.
No, oh yeah, Captain Beefheart. Yeah.
You know, like that's such a
who?
Captain Beefheart. You know that guy. He's such
absolutely. That's what I was thinking when he asked that question.
He's such a touch point for like freak avant-garde rock that it's a little almost like I played out, but truthfully, he made a big impact on me. I also think Marky Smith of The Fall is pretty big for me. Just like,
what song should I look up? I don't even know what that is.
For The Fall, I mean, if you want a really accessible album, Fall Heads Roll, that whole album is very accessible. But he's made so much stuff. I think, and you know, a lot of
it's so accessible that it's not on Spotify.
Pavement.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
Malcolmus. Yeah,
Malcolmus. You know, I like kind of sardonic, cynical kind of vocals.
Yeah, doesn't Malcolmus have that quote like "My favorite singers can't sing," or maybe somebody else said that, and I attribute it to him.
Yeah, I mean, whether he said it or not, it feels like being able to use whatever tool you have, and maybe, you know, in a way that fits within the framework of the song, to me is more is cooler than someone who is like beautifully ripping, you know, on the perfect pipes, whatever that means. But you know,
plus you're a fan. This is what this is supposed to be, right? We're supposed to just compliment each other. Jeremy's a fantastic lyricist.
Totally.
I love this guy's lyrics.
Yeah,
check out our music.
Check out.
Have we started recording the podcast yet?
No.
That's the question.
This is all cutting room shit, man. We have to start all over.
Wait, I want to hear more from Ruben.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you're doing.
Oh, okay. So Yeah, I would say a big influence is, you know, you Wolfpack and everything I see how you guys move on the internet. Not, you know, the music aside from the music, but the amount of videos you guys post up and how active you guys are on YouTube made me realize, oh shit, I'm not doing anything on YouTube. And I've had this channel like for a very long time. And, you know, most musicians don't think about YouTube. They're just like, I'll put my music videos up, maybe a lyric video. But then I saw Wolfpack's YouTube channel and it had everything. I was like, wow, this is like a legitimate channel. And that's when I started thinking, oh, well, maybe like a podcast would be cool for that. And then I did a few episodes at the beginning of the year before the pandemic happened. And then the pandemic really, I didn't talk to anyone anymore. So my main source of socialization was this podcast, and it like really helped. And I was like, and it was easier to get guests because everyone's at home.
Busy this weekend? You want to do a podcast?
Do a podcast, and it just like, you know, it was a great way to promote other people, and it's like really one of the least. You know, when you're a musician, everything kind of is just about you, me, my project. And I have shows coming up, buy my merch, but the podcast is the first thing I can do. Be like, actually, don't listen to me, listen to them, or like at least listen to both of us talk. And I found a lot of joy out of that. Joy I don't think I would have found if I was younger. I just turned 30, so I feel like I'm willing to give back versus being so in my own head and being me.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It's been cool. Yeah, it's been chill. And, you know, no shows, so I've just been chilling. Are there thoughts about taking this band on the road when normal life becomes normal again?
It would be cool to do it. You know, the last show I played was like 5 years ago in a living room, and I think, you know, Woody's played, you know, Madison Square Garden. So there's a different scale of competence, or not competence, but just like, it would be I would want to find a place where we could play shows that were that felt intimate. You know, I mean, I don't even know what fan base is out there for our live shows because we released the first album right as the pandemic started.
Right.
So it's like, it's hard to know what kind of audience is even out there. And there's people who are obviously responding to the music, but
I can't wait to play this stuff live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please. I'm rambling. I'm fucking rambling.
You're going on and on and on. You're not. I can't wait to play this stuff live. I fantasize about it all the time.
Yeah.
Would it be like a mix of the old record and the new record, or what?
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff we can draw from, and you know, stuff people don't know about.
Right.
Love hearing that at a concert.
We have, like Jeremy was saying, we made music before, and Jeremy, but we together made music that people don't know about. People meaning the subset of Wolfpack fans that now listen
who come over. Yeah.
Yeah. But some of my favorite music, and it's like, I don't play live very often, and I forget, like, I can be playing these songs, you know,
yeah,
again, you know, just because you record something doesn't mean, you know how you like wanted to put that different chord change in? Guess what? You can do that. You wanted to sing that melody a little bit differently? You can do that. You can play this song again.
How do you feel about playing live? Do you like it?
Yeah, I love playing live. And one thing I've been thinking about lately is that if you release the record in 2020 or even 2021, I think it won't be like, oh, well, that record's old. We can't tour that record. It's already old. It's like no one saw it live. So it still has a life. It will have a second life post-pandemic that people will go and support because we never got to hear it. We just listened to it on Spotify over and over again. And now it's that new element of, okay, playing it live.
Right.
Do you enjoy live more than you enjoy, like, if it was like demoing, recording, and playing live? Like, what's the lineup that you like?
Oh man,
there?
I think I love playing live the most lately.
Wow.
Making the record is up there, and then demoing seems to be my least favorite part. It's just like, let's just get it done. And they're usually sloppy as shit. It's like, this is the general structure, general riffs, but like I'll expand on them later as they evolve.
I feel like I'm exactly reversed.
Oh.
Like when I'm creating something new and in a flow state where it's like half improvisation, half like figuring out a puzzle, like that feels very like that's when I go into the flow state zone, and a lot of playing live for me is like just total fear and
okay.
not
I get
not
that.
really, you know. But maybe with repeated exposure. But I feel
Right.
like the reason I made art in the first place was to not have to be in front of other people. You know, it's to communicate without being present, and performance is like the exact opposite of that.
Interesting.
What about you, Woody? What on your? Where do you rank each one?
I guess I kind of love them all.
Yeah.
No, but
I can't pick between.
my favorite. No, but the only thing I can say is I really do love them all. But the thing I don't like the most is I don't like carrying keyboards and setting up. Like I've been thinking about that. Like I might just spend all the money I make from the show on hiring somebody to put my keyboard there. Cause like
Me. You can pay me to do it.
Okay. No, with Wolfpack, I got so spoiled. I went from like, you know, like playing a background jazz gig in some restaurant where everyone hates you to like, and you have to like carry your amp and your speaker and you get like leftover French fries.
Totally.
That's what you get paid in.
Yeah.
And then with Wolfpack, it's like B3 Oregon, CP70. And Wurlitzer are just there when you show up.
Right.
And so I'm like, how do I go back? I tried playing a live show, you know, of just with some friends in Chicago. And that was the thing. I like hated setting up. Like you're okay with that? You play guitar and I
play guitar, but I remember I started off on drums first and I hated that.
Oh, see? Yeah,
I fucking hated
just as
that.
bad. Yeah, maybe worse.
Brutal. And I started when I was playing drums, it was like 2002, 2003. So it was all about big kits, like too many cymbals. It was just like, you know, yeah.
What's driving that? What band is driving that big kit 2003 trend?
I was in a band called Tigers in the City with my cousins. We were all in high school, or just about. Yeah, we were all in high school. So I was like 14, and we were trying to be like the Mars Volta meets like some reggae stuff going on too. Like it was very confusing, and it makes sense why no one showed up to the shows. But it was fun. Yeah, it was a very confusing time. Big kit, big flashy drummers. I was not that good of a drummer. Where my drum teacher mainly taught me like how he play. That's what teachers do. They kind of like show you their tricks, and then you kind of in a way end up playing like them. And I think that happened to me a lot too. And he was like a big Bonham guy, so I ended up being more groove and heavy. Like I hit the drums like way too hard. That's why I don't play drums on my records, because I don't like the way I play. Yeah. What about you guys? Did you guys take lessons growing up? Like, do you feel like your teachers rubbed off on you in a way, in an appropriate way, not the way it just came out?
That's not funny. Come on, guys.
I know.
I didn't even get it. I didn't even pick up on it.
That's because you're a better person.
I'm pure.
As it came out of my mouth, I was like, "Oh shit."
Go ahead.
Either one.
Who's first?
Either one.
Okay. We're talking lessons.
Yeah,
Your
lessons.
curriculum vitae.
Curriculum vitae. Yeah, I did. Probably the short answer is jazz is like what I bring. Like I took classical lessons growing up, piano, but then I got so into jazz, and I kind of learned all about theory through that. And that's what I bring. Like I know harmonies, and I have an ear. Like I learned ear training, but I also am gifted genetically. And sorry, but I like listen to old jazz songs, and I hear the like harmonies and the very subtle things that people miss. Wasn't I supposed to be talking about if I took piano lessons?
Go.
You
just go. You're on a roll. You're on a roll. Can't stop you.
Yeah, I went to jazz college. That was the end of my story. Jazz school. Harmony. Bye.
Yeah, I didn't take any lessons. I tried to learn how to play my dad's acoustic guitar, and I kind of refused to learn. And I remember I would just play like essentially noise music on it. And my dad would get so mad at me. He told me to like stop doing it or to learn. And I stopped playing guitar for a while.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I had this memory that came back to me recently. I had like a laptop, maybe it was high school, or maybe it probably was early, maybe like freshman, sophomore year high school. And I would set up speakers and I would just have like feedback going, like real, like wolf eyes kind of like noise.
Can I cut you off and ask a question to you?
Right now?
Yeah, you. And also Dante. What age did you realize you were like a freak? Like you liked freaky music? Because we are all freaks. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Well, how old were you when you were listening to feedback? Like how old were you?
I think I was in high school when I was doing that. But my point of that story was my mom would yell at me and be like, "Stop it!"
Even better, right?
I don't know. I think I always kind of listened to music that wasn't. I mean, when you're young, you're like, I'm listening to stuff that's not on the radio.
Right.
That's how hip I am. And then you kind of learn that there's even layers and layers of obscureness, and then it becomes like, oh, is this a game I want to buy into at all? It's cool. It's cool to find music outside the realms of, common curation where things are being given to you, because then you feel like you really own the music that you find and dig into. But, I think that whatever taste is valid. Like if you're into pop or mainstream stuff, that's cool too.
Yeah, I basically lived off of like Time Life, songs of the 70s. Like because I wasn't really allowed outside of my house, so I would watch those infomercials. And with the scrolling thing, and if I heard a song I liked, I would just sit on my computer and LimeWire it like immediately.
What is this?
Like Time Life, those like music compilations.
Remember, and it's like featuring, and then they would have little clips
songs
of
the 1960s.
Yeah, these commercials you're talking about, TV.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then so I would sit on my computer, go on LimeWire, and any song that came up, I would just be like, okay, cool. That one's next, that one's next, that one next. And that's how I discovered a lot of music. Like, I didn't find out really about the Beach Boys until I watched like Rush Hour. Like that was like my exposure to like the Beach Boys. Like, it's just, I found out about music like ass backwards and this stuff. And
I remember like Napstering tunes, like, and then just like burning them on a CD and maybe listening to the CD later that I had found like from my bedroom. And it's just like the songs were so like lossy, like just totally like 128 MP3s, and just like, oh my God, I can't believe that.
That was a crazy time, man.
Yes.
Like, and then torrents, once torrents came around, that shit became a problem. I was wasting up so much space on hard drives just downloading every album. Oh, I like this artist, let me download every album. And yeah, that was a really crazy time.
What I really miss is like 2010s like blog, like blog world. I don't know if you ever got into that, Woody. That's right. But like people would there would be like a blog where it was kind of like somebody's compilation of all one genre, and it was their badge of honor that they had like every French prog record up there. And you could just like deep dive into this world. And yeah, that's kind of gone. And I do miss that.
You're a deep diver. You were like were a DJ at a time.
Yeah, Jeremy was. But those days are kind of gone. It's hard to do that, I find.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Now it's all shallow surface level listening.
Right.
I'm a Shazam addict. Yes. Like I will Shazam and wherever I go, and TV shows a lot, soundtracks. And then once a month I have it in my calendar, a reoccurring event to go through all my Shazams, and I put them into playlists based on whatever connected threads they have.
Yeah.
And then I never listen to them.
Where was the oddest place you had to Shazam from?
The womb.
Shazamming in front of a barista is kind of like you're just kind of like trying to do it like on the sly,
Yeah,
like, that's funny.
Let them know.
I know. Yeah, I just did Trader Joe's the other day. I was like, oh shit, I like this song. And then you're just like not trying to look like a fucking
grocery
nerd.
stores. Yeah.
Grocery stores. There's always like one banger every time you go in.
Yeah.
Or what if you Shazam something and then it's like so mainstream? It's embarrassing. It's like a Justin Bieber.
That happens to me, but I like those moments though, because I would never go after that. Right?
That's
You're
true.
like, oh shoot, I actually like this whatever Justin Bieber snare drum or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you able to draw inspiration from that kind of thing though? If you're like, oh, this is like a top 40 song, but I do like that drum tone. Like maybe I can like reference that. Is that something that happens a lot to you, Woody?
Oh yeah, and I was thinking about this recently, like how I listen to music how I listen to music is totally different now than when I was in high school. Like I'm always like, how did they make this? It's kind of like a magician now watching magic tricks. You know, it's a different perspective. And I don't feel like romantic about that. I'm into it, but yeah, I'm always like thinking, what do I like about this? Yeah, I like this, but then why do I like this? You know, totally. That always, that comes into play with when you're making stuff.
Why do I love the Hall & Oates drum tone so much? You know?
Yeah, great question.
Someone told me it's like it's like, what's it called? It's called like the $500 or the $1,000 drum tone where it's just SM57s all over the whole kit.
SM57s is or probably like that in there. Yeah. And them all going through one preamp or something at some point, or being put on the same tape machine. Mono overheads, maybe. I don't know Hall & Oates that well, actually.
Yeah. What? So you said you kind of grew up listening to jazz. What else? Was it mostly just jazz growing up, or how'd you even get into jazz? Was it something your parents showed you?
Daddy. I was talking to Daddy, and he played the
That's a reference to a song no one knows about.
My dad played like 5 jazz songs throughout my childhood, and he played them darn well. And
on like a piano?
On a piano. Did you not know that? Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, I have recordings of it. It's like he like just stopped playing one day and is like never play it again. But he used to play like all the time when we were growing up, and that totally wired my brain. And then my parents used to call me the music Nazi because when I was like in middle school, no friends, only bebop jazz. That was all that was going on. Yeah. And like it was just every time we went in the car, I was like, no, Charlie Parker, Sonny Rollins. That's what we were listening to. And then when I got to high school, that's when I found other people and learned that there were people who like existed on the outside. And that's when I got into Zappa and Beefheart and Hendrix and the Freaks. But, you know, I wasn't alone. Well, I shouldn't say I was alone. I had jazz friends, kind of.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's great.
Dad music is an interesting category of music, like what music you get from your dad, you know?
Yeah. What's your dad music?
Yeah, what's your dad music, Jeremy? Did you...
That's such a great freeze frame. Wow. Is that recorded when it freezes?
I hope so.
It must be.
Okay.
Let's all do that for a second, please. Wait, Ruben, can you do that with me?
My dad.
You're going the wrong side. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Did we lose them? I think we lost them.
Should I like text them or something?
Yeah.
How much longer do your podcasts go?
We're at 40 minutes. I usually go like an hour and a half.
Okay.
I'm going to take a picture on my phone. Oh, and he's gone.
Bye, Jeremy.
Oh, no.
The cliffhanger of Jeremy's dad's music. What's your dad's?
Jeremy even have a dad?
Your dad?
That's a relief.
What did you get from your dad?
Oh, my dad's obsessed. You know, every dad picks a year to like obsess over. And my dad's year is 1987. Okay. And
it's really? It's not what I expected.
It was the year before he had kids, before he had responsibility, and
Before you ruined his life.
Basically, before my sister did. Yeah.
Before you took his youth away.
Basically, he was able to do whatever he wanted that summer, and it's a lot.
Freedom of '87.
Freedom of '87, and it was a lot of electro funk, a lot of breakdance music.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He was a young
Gated
dad.
reverbs.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like the stuff I love now. But yeah, wait, Jeremy. Oh wait, his sound's still off. But yeah. Other than that, 1987. Does your dad have a? Let's get back to your dad's music because we lost you for.
We're back with dad talk.
Yeah, what happened?
Dad
This
talk.
podcast should be his dad talk.
Dad talk. Jim, yeah, sorry, we lost you for a second.
Yeah, it's okay. My internet's bad here.
That's okay.
I feel like it's related to when the wind blows, because sometimes it feels like my internet goes out and then the wind is gusty, and I know that is probably not true.
He's a witch.
It's like blowing the Wi-Fi away from my computer. It turns out I'm just like a conspiracy guy.
Yeah.
I started talking about 5G. Anyways, guys. Dad music for me, I think of Thelonious Monk. That's the number one I think of.
It's hilarious. It's so because it's just so that is the dad music of me too.
Yeah.
Maybe that sums it all up.
And Steely Dan, which
Ultimate dad
was not transferred to you, would it?
No, Steely.
Did you get into Steely later, or no? Still no Steely.
I'm not sorry. No.
I'm a big fan.
I like a couple songs. I'm not like a huge fan, but no one cares.
It's okay. Listen, it's like red pill, blue pill. Are you Gaucho or are you Asia, Jeremy?
Ooh, God, that's a good question.
And don't say pretzel logic. Don't say pretzel logic.
I think Gaucho's where it's at.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I also
If you
really
had
like.
told us where Gaucho really led to, we would have taken it.
I also really like Katie Lied. I don't know. You can just their albums.
I missed that.
Are we all synced up? Are we having issues? Are we all synced up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's you're good. There you go. Well, sweet. That's awesome, man. We'll just keep it going. Oh, I asked the internet for some questions. I'm sorry to report that they're all just Wolfpack questions. So
I kind of assumed. So I'm
okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
You know, like
who is Jeremy Daly? Is he in Wolfpack?
What does he play in? I didn't see him at MSG.
What does he play in Wolfpack?
Here's a cool Wolfpack fact. I helped Wolfpack get their first commercial because my day job is doing licensing, and I worked with them before their current licensor. So
Jeremy worked at Ghostly.
Yeah, I still do. I work there.
It's a freaking cool job.
So I got them a Snickers commercial that played on gas station TVs in Mexico. And I remember
very specific.
Jack and Joe were in LA, and we went out to dinner to celebrate, and Joe bought a little Snickers. Maybe it was Jack. I can't remember, but I don't know. So that's my Wolfpack fact.
It's huge, man.
Yeah, man.
That was amazing.
Yeah, Ghostly. Ghostly followed me on Twitter, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I was like, oh, they're just following a lot. They're just following everyone on Twitter.
Oh, okay. No, they're in there. The night manager is active.
Yeah.
You know? he'll know what you're up to.
Okay. I'll have to make sure I tag him in the tweet. But like, we could talk about licensing before I get into all these fucking Wolfpack questions.
Sure.
What is licensing? How does it happen? I've never experienced it. What do you do?
So for someone at your scale, you should at least have a. So you're probably part of a PRO, right? Well, okay. Let's back up even further.
What's a PRO? Let's start over.
PRO is a performing rights organization.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I do have one of those. Yeah.
So to give a general overview, you know, like when you think of a song, there's two portions legally of a song. There's the master and the composition. The master is the actual physical recording, the MP3 and the wave. The composition is kind of the idea of the song, like the notes, the lyrics. So if you do a cover of Hey Jude, you record it, you own the master, the physical recording, but the Beatles own the composition. So if you license that, which is selling that song or giving the rights to use that song to a TV show, commercial, or whatnot, you license the right to your master, but they'll license the composition. If you've written a song and you recorded it, you license both sides. Now, essentially, there's royalties being created at all the junctures where your music is being used, and some of them relate to the master side. And some of them relate to the composition side. So like there's this company called Sound Exchange in the US. Are you a part of that?
I've heard of it.
So you should be signed up for there because they collect online streaming mechanical licenses. That means it relates to the master side. And as someone, I assume you own your own music and you're the performer on it, you'll be collecting royalties on that. And then there's also royalties that are performance royalties, which PROs collect, like BMI, ASCAP, and then that will be due to your writership, which is the composition side. I feel like I might be losing you.
No, I think most of the people who listen to this podcast are musicians, and no one talks to us about this shit. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I'd say, you know, for a musician of your scale, probably, you know, you should be signed up to ASCAP or BMI. That's like a one-time fee, you know, and that means you're getting your royalties from your writership share of what you're doing. And then you should also have be collecting on the publishing side of the PRO, which means, you know, you have a publisher in the PRO, and that you're still only collecting on performance royalties. And then what you're missing is mechanicals. And so to collect those, you need to work with an administrator. And there's like Song Trust is out there. That's an option. And you can go there and they'll do a little analysis based on how many streams you have on like Spotify or whatnot, and estimate how many royalties are out there. And mechanicals go away in like 3 years based on territory. Okay. So there might be like a couple hundred, you know, out there for you in terms of that. And so, you know,
so all this
the hard thing about
all this leads to getting a Snickers commercial in Mexico. Basically.
Okay. Wants to know about placements.
Yeah, the placements.
Right. Well, here's the thing. So all that stuff is about collecting the monies that are out there for you, you know, and that stuff is important for your working musician because like during times like this, when you can't play shows, there's royalties being generated that you need to collect. For sync, which is specifically like placement in TV shows and stuff, you either need to have an incredibly successful song that people hear. You need to work with a team that has connections to music supervisors and ad agencies that are pitching your music. And those are or, you know, you need to be friends with people who are in that realm. And so my job at Ghostly is to work with my artists and pitch them for opportunities and to maintain relationships with these brands, with these music supervisors, and then also to make sure that they're collecting on these royalties. And also to just generally educate the artists, because not to be offensive, but most artists, like, I feel like artists know kind of the least about how money is made for them, you know? And I think that being it's like kind of my duty to educate these artists, because then that's the only way they can inform decisions about signing a record deal or doing any sort of legal thing if they don't have a lawyer, because, you know, you can't make a decision if you're not educated to doing it.
True. Okay.
Did I just go off? Was that a good chunk of content?
Yeah,
or was that just
that's a clip. Yeah. That's a YouTube clip right there. Yeah.
Damn. Well, I feel like, you know, I don't. I kind of felt like I went into like a fugue state to reference a Wolfpack song.
But I want you to have a different. I want to hear your YouTube video about this, Jeremy, because I need it personally. I've had trouble with these organizations, but I don't think that like 47 minutes in on the podcast is like I want you to do like your own video on this stuff. Like you want to do that, don't you?
Well, it's hard because it's so dry, and it's not really technically complicated. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, so maybe it just seems easy, but it's also that there's so many technicalities. Like every territory, like if you're in the US or you're in Europe or you're in Canada or you're in Korea, they all deal slightly differently with royalties and how royalties are collected. And it's like, what is the baseline thing that an artist needs to know to effectively take advantage of what they're doing? And truthfully, there's a certain scale of artists like that I was at, for a long time, where it's like, it's not really going to make a huge difference for me to leverage all this royalty collection out there. It might be $50 to $100 a year or something. But as that dial changes, it can make a huge impact,
Yeah.
Once you grow to scale. So it's kind of hard to know when an artist should really dive in and educating themselves with it. I think Ruben, you should for sure.
Absolutely. So I'm absorbing it, man. This is the stuff I like to hear about and stuff that I need. Cause you just always focus on the playing and the creating the art, but not the actual monetizing of this art. And
they're two separate brains. Like,
right.
I mean, when I work at my job, I feel very, I'm very, I forget if it's right or left brain, but it's just like, I feel totally like I'm making decisions. I'm like, oh, this is the proper way to handle it. And then when I'm working on my own music, I'm like, but should I do this with my song? I don't know,
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's just like when your own creativity is wrapped up in it, it becomes so more emotional, and it becomes less of like I'm using my rubric to make decisions about how to handle it.
Yeah.
It becomes more like, because of my emotional investment in this song, I don't know the proper, and someone who's actually very good at that is Jack from Wolfpack. He somehow is able to maintain the two things. So let's segue into what people actually wanted, as opposed to being yelled about royalties.
Here are the questions I got for you, Woody. Inspirations for animal spirits. I'm telling you, I didn't write these ones. These are the ones people.
Jeremy, you want to grab a book or something, or?
Do you know that? You know what it is?
Inspirations for animal spirits.
Yeah.
Jack made that. I have the demo. He goes like, I think that's the inspiration for that song.
So basically, he sent you that, and you're like, okay, let me figure out what these chords are from Boo-Doo Dap.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of how that creative process works in that band?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Just demos of us screwing around, and then we take it to the studio. The lyrics, what are the lyrics of that? Oh, the lyrics are about, aren't they about economics? Like animal spirits was a term used to describe like the invisible hand or like the forces moving the market. Is that right? Anybody?
Possibly.
Nobody knows.
I'm checking my email right now.
So how does it differ from working that creative process with Wolfpack to this project? It sounds like you're also sending chords over to Jeremy and like, here are some chords.
Oh yeah.
Love to hear what you would do with these.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
It's very similar. Yeah. Like when when you make a demo, like you said, you don't like making demos. I'm curious about that because like, I love making demos. It's like, you got to get in the mindset of like not worrying about anything except the emotion that you're trying to get across. It's like, don't worry about how anything sounds or what order things come in. It's just like, I'm trying to inspire Jeremy or Wolfpack or whoever it is. I'm trying to be like, listen to this for 10 seconds. And it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get on this.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes a demo, you don't have to worry about how it sounds, and that's what's freeing about it. And,
Totally.
it can more accurately capture that emotion. I also just want to say that Woody is obviously an incredible collaborator. He's
The best. I mean,
with so many different, like May Erlewine, and then with Wolfpack, and he's
Danny DeVito
with me, who I cannot collaborate with most people, so I think it says a lot.
Wait, Danny DeVito, is that a joke or for real? You collabed with Danny DeVito?
It's just a teaser, 2024. But thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. What did you want to respond to my demo?
Yeah, I'll respond to the demo. I think, and I understand what you guys are saying, but
demos.
I just feel like it's just that part. Like, I'm just doing it. Let's just get this done. I'm not, yeah, I guess I am trying to get the feeling and the general vibe across, but like ultimately, it doesn't seem like it's on a level of importance as the other parts. So to me, it's just like this is just like a roadblock until we get into the actual.
Are you somebody who is able to perform your song like you singing and playing guitar?
No, I'm pretty bad at that. I like to let better musicians play
So
it.
if you have a song and you want to show it and you want to inspire people to want to work on it.
Yeah, I can play
what
it.
do you do?
No, yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
I could play it too. Yeah.
You probably want to do that. You don't really need demos as much.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah,
And you're
true.
the leader too.
Yeah.
You're the leader. So you can just perform the song. You like performing.
I do like performing, so I could just show them this is what the song's like up in but like, I feel like you still got to do the demo just because like here's the original thought and then we'll build from it there and then I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not my favorite part of the process. I should say. But is nice, I guess.
Fair.
It also takes a long time. I also just like will spend like the whole day on it and then that day I won't eat anything because I'm just like so in the zone. I think I just get too zoned out in the whole process also.
It sounds like a job for you, but for me,
Yeah.
the demo, like the song doesn't exist until the demo's there. You understand? Like that's
Right.
where I'm composing it.
Right.
I'm not sitting on a guitar and coming up with words. It's like
Right.
it starts with making the demo. I don't know what the song is until the demo is done.
True. Cool. All right, let's move on. Next Instagram question. How did you link up with Bernard Purdy?
I don't know. Probably Instagram
Really?
or something like a manager. I don't know.
And
I know here's something funny. Here's something funny talking about trying to link up with Bernard Purdy. I'm pretty sure that Jack has like money for him. Bernard, if you're watching this, which you probably are, Jack has money for you and he cannot get it to him. Like he can't
He won't
reach him
respond
anymore.
back
So his manager, I don't know who, it's just hilarious to me. But that was so much fun hanging out with that dude. It was hilarious.
That's hilarious.
He's larger than life.
Do you think he played on all the first Beatle recordings?
No comment.
Okay. All right.
We played on a Beatles song with him. That's the important thing.
That's true. That is
You
super.
can listen. That's where the money's from. If you go to Spotify, we recorded the song "Something" with him
That's
live.
Awesome. Oh, that's awesome.
Kind of yeah.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Let's see. Is Woody gonna release Solo Roads on vinyl?
Jeremy, you want to take this one?
He's already sent it to you. It's been shipped.
There you go.
Yeah, it's stuck in shipping. Sorry. Is that it's trying to get overseas. I have no plans to. It sounds so messed up already. It's off a cassette tape, I believe. I don't know if you want to degrade it anymore.
Wait, where can we listen to Solo Roads?
Probably
where
not.
is it? Is it
Do not
online
stop being a
anywhere?
jerk. Yeah, I think it's on Bandcamp only.
Okay. Well, people are loving it, man. They want to hear it on vinyl.
That's really nice. Thank you.
Okay,
I'm
now
sorry
this
to
is
be a jerk about answering.
This is one of my questions and is about the new record. So
What's that?
this is one of my questions. What is your relationship with Cass McCombs? Why is that song called that?
He's our daddy.
Oh yeah.
We love him.
He seems like, I don't know, I always say this, but I feel like Cass McCombs is the most mysterious dude in indie rock. I don't know anything about him.
No longer.
No longer?
No longer. This song tells it all.
I mean, that's kind of why, you know, and I feel like he might be the last artist to be able to do that, you know? Like, you kind of can't be mysterious like that anymore and be successful, you know?
So interesting.
He's like an American, he's like a troubadour, you know, like he's I don't know, he has all these qualities, and we're both obsessed with him and how he executes these traditional songs, but then they're all kind of fucked up and weird too. It's cool.
Yeah,
and that's the only Woody and Jeremy song that Woody has written the lyrics for. So that's the most Woody song on the record.
Yeah, I'll never forget.
He made a demo, and I was like, okay, this is fine. And then I didn't do anything with it. And we showed up at the studio, and he was like, we need to record this. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll sing your lyrics. And he was like, wait, you're not going to change the lyrics? So I was like, no, we're going to do these lyrics if we're recording it. And he had sang this song about Cass McCombs getting bread. So that's the song. It's probably maybe the best one, best lyrical.
Yeah, that one stuck out immediately. Like, Woody, can you talk to us more about this? Is this a real story of where you saw Cass McCombs?
Well, just everybody, you know, he's a total enigma, and everyone's wanting to know, you know,
who is he?
Who is Cass? You know, what does he do? And so we thought it would be worth it to finally dive into these questions that we're all dying to know the answer to, and let the world know.
I was scared that it was going to be a negative reaction, and especially like kind of working at a indie record label, I didn't want it to be like negative. So we reached out to his management, and we heard from his management that he was philosophically okay with the song. That's the quote.
All right.
So I love it.
I maintain that he never heard it or received their message, and that they were just like, who are these? They probably thought we were fans who like wanted to talk to our hero, which is true.
True.
I heard he plays it every day in his car.
I can't wait for him to see this crap. That'll just make me so happy. We have a hilarious video for this one.
Oh, so there's already a video. I was gonna say, get him in the video.
That was our dream.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He won't have anything to do with us. But
no, that's not true. Woody played with him.
I did play with him.
You did?
I did meet him. It was like, you know, I fanned out a little bit.
No good.
I was like, which is true. I told him he was my most listened to Spotify artist of whatever year, 2019, I think it was.
Yeah.
He was like, cool, man. he was a very like gentle and like kind of small presence. You know, he was just like very gentle. I wasn't expecting that, right. You know. His music can be very abrasive at times. He was just a kind spirit.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of gentle music there too, though.
Totally. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely one of the last artists who can do what he's doing, and everyone's just like, yeah, it's just what he does. That's just him.
He came across the time when the internet happened. And he didn't, you know.
And is he Chicago, Woody? Is he from there, or?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Huh. Are you originally from Chicago, Woody?
Skokie, which is a suburb. The bagel capital of
the Midwest.
The Midwest.
Yeah.
It's in the bagel belt.
The bagel belt, yeah. Oh man, I've yet to have a bagel in Chicago. That's why.
Is that fucked up? I'm sorry,
I don't know.
Jeremy gave a look.
I don't know how it would be fucked up. I don't get it.
I don't know. I had a bar mitzvah.
Oh, okay. So you're relating bagels to Jewishness?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was legitimate. I was like, oh, I gotta get a bagel on him over there.
I find their bagels to be unmatched, personally.
I love it. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think that's it for the Wolfpack questions. Thank you guys for going through that with me, and I hope in the future future interviews for you guys, they go better than this one, and less Wolfpack questions and more Woody and Jeremy questions.
No,
this is a blast.
Yeah, I have a question though. Like, how do you when you're in a good interview, do you like feel it? Are you vibing on it? And then also on a scale of 0 to 10, what would you rank this one like?
I thought we had some good laughs in this one.
Yeah, we did.
I think it was good.
How is he going to honestly answer that question, though? You can't do that.
No, honestly, like the first couple ones on Zoom were so brutal because it's just, I was used to doing them in person. And then once it became Zoom, it became just a little bit more sterile. And I was like, oh, I guess I actually have to do fucking research now. And I guess I actually have to do this. Like before, it was just winging it. Like you come into a room at Bedrock, we wing it, we talk shit, whatever. And now it's like, fuck. I don't know. I think I've gotten better. There's some episodes I cannot listen to, and maybe I shouldn't have asked those people to come on that early in my inception of like getting to the swing of things. Maybe I should have just had my friends on and like bullshitted until I felt more comfortable. I'm sorry, Jerry Paper, if you're listening. I'll do better next time. I promise I'll do a better interview next time.
I think you did. I think you're very good at it.
Thanks.
There wasn't really a big, there's no gaps and things.
Right. The gaps is what I've learned because, like, an example, I was talking to Jerry Paper and I was like, yeah, man, when you're making your first record and, like, and this difference between the second record, like, blah, 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 did you feel like there was, like, something building, like, this next record's gonna be really great? He was like, they're all really great. And there was just silence. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, I guess all the records are great. I don't know, like, fuck, like, where do we go from there? All right.
Stupid.
Remember when you were in the Beatles? Like, cool, like it's like my Chris Farley moment.
I love it.
yeah.
That's really cool.
And if this interview is a little disjointed and chaotic, then it just matches the new Woody and Jeremy record.
That's what we're saying. Let's pitch the album. When does the album come out?
What, June 4th?
June 4th.
Is that right, Woody?
Yes.
What label is putting it out?
We're doing it ourselves.
Love it.
And I think there's a pre-order that's up till June 4th, or maybe like a week after.
A week after.
A week after.
The slow folks.
Are you going to be shipping the orders yourself?
Heck no.
we got our friends at Gotta Groove doing the vinyl production and shipping, which is good. And the album is good.
I think it's really good. I listened to it today. It's really good.
Thank you, sir.
Hell yeah.
It's my favorite, for all those still listening, an hour and 9 minutes in, it's my favorite album I've ever made.
Love it.
And also, we're going to make better albums later, too. So if you don't like this one, you can get the next one.
What a way to promote a record. Well, hey, we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for coming on, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Thank you very much, Ruben.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of your Friday, boys.
You too.
Bye.